In today's world of off-road vehicles, visibility and technology seems to be a trend that a lot of people are gravitating towards. As off-road vehicles and overland builds are getting wilder and bigger, and they're attaching more stuff to the back and on top of trucks and SUVs, it's becoming harder and harder to be able to see around your vehicle. And I definitely have had that problem with my Bronco before with such a small cargo capacity. So on this episode, I'm going to be going over a solution that I found. I'm going to be installing it and reviewing it for you guys for both a forward-facing dash camera as well as a rear-facing camera that I can use anytime I want. What is up, you guys? Matt McAdam here, aka Desert Chief, only on Driving Lines Chasing Dust. I'm out here in the garage today. I'm going to be doing a little product highlight slash install slash review for you guys today for something that I just bought. It is the G850 Rearview camera and dash camera from Wolfbox. So I got this from Amazon. This model was about 150 bucks on Black Fridays when I bought it. I have never had a dash camera before. I know that they're very useful. Obviously, there's a ton of applications for them in, just driving around on the street, but Wolfbox actually caught my attention because they were marketing towards off-roaders and overlanders for being able to record your adventures. And a lot of stuff happens out on the trail. Sometimes you hit stuff, sometimes somebody in front of you does something funny you wish you would have captured on camera. I could really see a lot of applications needing this product now that I think about it. You have vehicles that have lots of accessories on the back, or they have a larger spare tire, makes it really hard to see out the back window. You have vehicles that have camper shells with dark tint on them. You have other types of campers that take up the entire bed of a truck, or Sprinter vans that don't have rear windows. So there are a lot of applications that could really benefit from having a front-facing 4K and a rear-facing camera as well that you could just always monitor on your rear view mirror. And honestly, you guys, at 150 bucks for this product, I really don't think you can go wrong, so long as it actually does everything that it says it's going to do, but we're gonna find out today. Of course, guys, there's a lot of different brands that sell this style of product where it's basically a camera and monitor setup that goes over your factory mirror or replaces your factory mirror. I just happened to buy the Wolfbox one because I thought that their marketing was pretty intriguing. Do your own research, find out which ones work for you. I'm just gonna be installing this one. And to make it abundantly clear, they did not send me this. I didn't get this for free. This review is completely of my own accord. I paid full price for this on Amazon. So you're getting a full unbiased review of this product today. Figure we do a little unboxing video and show you guys what comes in the G850. They do have a G840 and a G900, I think. And the only difference that I could tell between this model and the G900 was that the 900 had a 2.5K rear camera and this has a 1080p camera. So they both have 4K HD front, a 12-inch display, and all the wiring and all the other bits. And they also both have GPS tracking so that you can use that if you ever get in an accident. You can show your insurance company. I'm sure that's what that's for. But anyways, let's open this guy up and see what's inside. So it's got a nice 12-inch display here. Remove some of the packaging first. And as you guys can see on the back side, it's got the front-facing 4K camera right here. And I think it's got some adjustment to it so you can adjust up and down, which is great for you guys with different ride heights. And these are what I imagine are the clips that go around the factory rearview mirror. And I actually like this style that goes around the factory mirror because my mirror's got a bunch of electronics tied to it. So this kind of just goes over it and it's bigger than the factory mirror. So it'll cover it up nicely and I don't have to actually remove anything. On the top here, we got USB-C plug, audio visual cable for the rear camera, and then a GPS cable. And there's a micro SD card in here as well. I think it's a 64 gigabyte is what it's supposed to come with. Yeah, 64 gigabyte. And the way that this works is it records until the card is full and then it just rewrites over it. But if you get into an accident, it automatically locks that footage so that it cannot be written over and you always have that footage and you don't have to worry about losing it. Gonna set that aside for just a moment here. Let's open this guy up. Got all kinds of cables in here. This looks like the rear camera. Yep, and it's got a cable already going into it. And there's a small bracket here for mounting it if you have a flat surface that you can drill through. This is just, like I said, a 1080p camera for the rear view. Looks like it does come with some adhesive as well, so probably gonna use that instead of drilling into my hardtop. This is the GPS antenna. So this has to be facing somewhere that can see the sky, and that way it will record your movements and where you're coming from and your speed and all that stuff. This guy right here is I imagine the power for the mirror itself. Now, I get why they include a cigarette lighter plug, but most modern vehicles don't have a cigarette lighter on the dash. Sometimes they're inside the center console. So I might find a way to hardwire a USB-C into this mirror and just have that going to power somewhere on my vehicle so that it's used on switch power. This looks like an interior panel puller, so it helps you kind of get some interior panels apart so you can wire it. And I imagine these are probably the little stretch things that go around your factory mirror. They kind of go around and hook around it like this, and then your mirror sits in there like this. So I'm sure we'll find out during the installation. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do is just kind of mock everything up inside the car, plug it in and turn it on and just see what happens before we start routing some wires. All right, so I'm just gonna start by looping the top over and then the bottom here. I'm really curious to see how well these little rubber bands hold on the trail, because they are marketing this towards off-roaders. So we'll see if they can hold up to the kind of off-roading I'm used to. Now that both of these are on here, seems to be all right. So there's the mirror on the factory mirror. And as you can see, the camera's right here, and it has some adjustability to it so you can move it. I've got it kind of facing more forward now because the mirror is slightly angled. So it's in place. Let's plug her in and see if it turns on. Like I mentioned earlier, the Bronco doesn't have, you know, a cigarette lighter plug anywhere on the dash here. So the only one that it's got, I think, in the whole car is in the center console. All right, so let's fire it up. Wolfbox logo with some audio, firing it up. I'll remove this so I can read it easier. I can already see it's trying to record, but there's still a piece of tape over the camera, so I'm gonna take that off. And there we have the camera view, and I'm immediately impressed by, wow, that's very clear. Obviously it's getting the hood of the Bronco looking into the garage, but man, that is really, really clear visual right there. All right, so we got the front camera plugged in. Let's plug in the rear view camera and see what that looks like. As it turns out, the rear view camera does not need power. The red wire is likely to go to a reverse light so that it comes on automatically when you shift it into reverse. But as you guys can see, I'm holding the camera. Try to hold it in my face. And it's pretty clear. It's 1080p. You know, it's not the best. It's not as good as the front, but it gets the job done. You know, for a good reverse camera, rear view camera, kind of replacing your mirror with a digital, and it's fast. There's no latency to this. I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty instantaneous. So I'm not worried about wireless signal and latency and interference or any of that stuff. All right, so I tend to think a little methodically about this stuff, and I think first things first is I want to pull the interior paneling up here down so that way I can get behind these panels and access the area behind it so I can run the power wire up to the mirror. And then once I have that ran, I'm gonna find a suitable spot for this rear view camera, and then go mount it back there and then run this long lead wire all the way from the back of the car to the front. All right, guys, so we just got the Wolfbox installed on the Bronco. It took a little longer than I thought, but honestly, most of what I was fighting was just the interior panels on this car. That took up most of the time, but honestly, the kit was very helpful. I ran all the wiring really nice and tight along the frame at the top there. and it came with those nice little wire holders that were just stick on. And the rear camera actually turned out to be pretty sweet too with where I mounted it. Coming around inside under the glass here, you can see it's just underneath the weather seal for the rear glass. And I was able to just use the hardware that it came with to just screw it into the panel right here. It was really easy. Just drilled a pilot hole and was able to hand thread it in there, and it's pretty secure and it's tight. It's not gonna go anywhere. And you can actually angle this up or down as you need to, but there's already some adjustability inside the screen itself. So close the window, it's out of the way. You can't even see it now. I'm pretty happy with that. But now here comes the moment of truth. Let's go for a quick test drive. Here we are going down the road, and you know what, guys? I like that. That's pretty nice. It's really convenient for a rear view mirror. I'm not mad about that at all. It is crystal clear, given it is still pretty bright out. So far, I am pretty impressed with how that works as just a rear view mirror. There's the front camera view. Of course, that's 4K, so it's a little bit clearer, better colors, but still does a very good job at capturing what's going on in front of the car. You know, yeah, for 150 bucks, guys, I'm pretty happy about that. That's pretty cool. All right, guys, that about wraps up our install and review of the Wolfbox G850. And again, I bought that with my own money. Nobody sent it to me. I just wanted to try out a camera like this, and I think that it's got some pretty huge applications for both on-road and off-road use. So if you're an off-roader, you like recording your adventures, but you also drive on the street and you want to have a little peace of mind out there with the dash cam and a rear camera that does better than your rear view mirror, you know, I gotta say, just after that first test drive, I'm pretty happy with this thing, so I'm gonna be using it out on the trail. I'll try to show you guys some more footage in future episodes to let you guys know how I'm doing with it, if I decided to keep it, you know, how it was working out for me out there in the elements. And yeah, I know there are other competitor products out there. I know Stinger Audio makes one that's really nice, and I think that just replaces your mirror altogether. So if you guys have any experience with that stuff, please let me know in the comments about it. I'd love to hear about it and see what your experience has been with it. But so far, I'm pretty happy with this Wolfbox. I want to thank you guys for following along, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to Driving Line. We're making all kinds of videos, educational, informative, product reviews, both for on-road, off-road, and everything in between. But one last time, you guys, I'm Matt McAdam, aka Desert Chief, only on Driving Line's Chasing Dust, and as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching Driving Line. If you guys like this video, consider subscribing to our channel so you'll never miss any of the content we create here. Whether you're into trucks, Jeeps, imports, domestic vehicles, or anything in between, we are here to fuel your passion. So hit that subscribe button and we'll see you guys next time.